Okay, today we're going to talk a little bit about top-down design. The idea is to look at the big picture, analyze it, understand what you have, whether it's a problem, situation. In our case, making a web page, looking at the big picture. What do they all want in the page? Then you design what you think it's going to look like. You're not doing any coding or creating pages in some content management software. You're designing, you're drawing it out on paper. Then you actually build the website, and then you implement it. All of these stages have an important facet, which I'm going to draw a little arrow right here, feedback. So you work with the client, the web page is going to be for, and you make sure you have everything right before you start designing. And then when you start designing, you work with the client and you say, okay, is this okay, is this okay, is this okay, is this okay? And then the client, who you're working for, who might be yourself, they check off and say, yep, that looks good, yes, that looks good. Then you can start actually making the web pages. And again, you're working with the client and getting feedback. Here you would do a lot of testing, making sure it's exactly what they want. And then when you implement, hopefully you don't have as much feedback, but you go ahead and put it into use, and then the people that are using the website eventually would be giving you some feedback. And if for some reason there needs to be some big changes, you can actually go all the way back up here, analyze the changes, design the new changes, put them into development, and then republish the website. So let's talk a little bit about each of these steps. First of all, analysis. What things are we interested here in analysis? Well, let's take a look. You have some web page or website somebody wants. Okay? Now, here you're going to figure out, what's the purpose, who's going to look at the website, who's all involved, who's going to update, how you going to publish it, where is it going to be published, etc., 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 etc. You find out all the givens, all the things people know. You find out who's going to be involved, who are the clients, who's going to view the website, who's going to work with the website, who's going to update it, etc., etc. Here you figure out the purpose. There we go. Let me back that up. Oh, look at that. Back it up. The purpose of the website, like what's it supposed to accomplish, how are you going to evaluate it, is it working, and etc., etc. This is a big step in making sure you're going the right direction before you actually start creating a website. Then you can design it. Probably the best way to do that is say, okay, this is what this page is going to look like, and then from that page we're going to link to this page, and this page is going to look like this, and then we're going to have a page over here that's going to look like this, and that's going to come off the main page, and then maybe this page will have some pages, and this one will have some pages, and eventually you develop some type of hierarchy. Okay, some type of hierarchy in terms of you'd have levels of pages, and how would people navigate the website, and so forth. You'd put all this work into design what you want to look like. And like I mentioned before, you would get lots of feedback. Does this page look okay? No, we would rather have it, this and this and this. And then are these links going to be okay? does this make sense in how this works and how people would find information? If there's some information down here, when somebody comes into the website, how would they find that content that's down there? So we do lots of feedback at each of the levels. Okay, now here at this stage we are going to actually maybe use a content management system, and we can start actually develop the web pages. And this would be based on the design. Now that we have the design, we can go ahead and start developing the web pages using this or HTML and cascading style sheets and actually coding. This can be done on a local machine or in-house. You know, people can't see the website, or you wouldn't allow them to see it, and you'd work on the design and get everything to work. So it would be the links, the navigation, and so forth. You would actually develop it in the development stage. And again, what am I going to say next? Lots of feedback. Lots of feedback. They could say, no, this isn't quite right, or, you know, this page we want to look a little different, or we'd rather have a link going this way, and so forth. Even though most of that should have been taken care of in the design, but when you actually start developing it, yeah, you may run into having to make changes and so forth. Then, another important step here. In fact, I'll write it in red. Test. Every link, every page, every image. And probably you'd want to use not just the people who created it, but some outside sources. You know, some people, other people who haven't seen the original website that could give you some insight into some problems and so forth you might have. And some of that might even have occurred a little bit under the design stage. Okay? This is where, in terms of the websites, I would use the word, you're ready to publish. I don't know. Go public. You know, allow the website to be seen by people. You know, actually start using it. And believe it or not, still exists. Hopefully there isn't very much feedback as far as negative feedback, but you publish, you go public. Okay? And then you will, from this, need to evaluate and see if you're meeting your purpose. Is the website doing what you want it to do? Is it generating more business? Is it getting your information out there about a book you're writing? Is it, you know, is it doing this, whatever? Is it accomplishing the purpose of what it's meant to do? So you got to think about how you're going to do that. How are you going to know if it's really working? Alright, so top-down design looks at the big picture in terms of, you know, what are we trying to do here on the web, the purpose, the problem you're trying to solve or whatever, but you look at the big picture And then you slowly break that down into parts that are manageable, things you can do. And so you break that down into parts that are more easy to manage. So big to more specific parts. And this is good for complex websites. Websites that are going to be really involved. A website for a hospital. Just think of all the facets in a hospital. Okay, just think of them all. Hurts my head just to think about it. A school, a college. You know, how many different things and pieces of information are managed at a college, or for courses at a college, or a large corporation, and so forth. All right, top-down design. That's it for today.